Give me a quarterback that has had to look himself in the mirror and tell himself that he has to improve. Give me the guy that has faced the adversity, that has faced the bad decisions, that has faced all the negative and improved, actually improved. I'd rather have that than a kid that never had to deal with any of that adversity because they will face it no matter who they are. They are going to face it in the NFL. So I want a guy who's ready to handle that, and I want a guy who is already built to withstand that type of adversity. Now, Mac Jones has had an elite cast around him forever since he threw a football. Um, so I think Joe Namath's take is a little bit of an Alabama bias, but I've also said that Mac Jones is probably the most pro-ready quarterback in this draft. And I think he's a hands down solid pick at number 3 for the 49ers, and I still haven't come off of that. Um, he looks a lot of the problem with that people are seeing, aside from like actual real analysts that know how to get in and talk about a quarterback, what they're missing is his cast makes everything that Mac Jones does look so easy. But he's still the one out there making those decisions. He's still the one out there throwing those strikes. He's still the one out there. He's not a runner. He's not going to beat you with his legs too often, but he doesn't need a whole lot of room in the pocket to throw the ball, and he can put power behind his throws. He processes his reads faster than anybody else in the draft, Trevor Lawrence included, and I think that is a valuable commodity, um, for a top pick. And compared to like quarterbacks like a Justin Fields, who I think needs to sit for a little bit and learn to get out of that Ohio State collegey offense, as Chris Sims calls it, and a guy like Trey Lance, who I think when you combine a lack of a resume with FCS competition, needs to sit for a little bit. I think quarterbacks like Kellen Mond and Mac Jones are really going to shine, and they're going to go a lot higher than a lot of people think. But I think there's a little bit of bias. Why wouldn't there be? I just put out a video about Avery Williams, one of our special teams returners at Boise State, and I'm a little biased towards him. I mean, I compared him to Devin Hester for Christ's sake. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I stand. I think there's a little bit of bias, but it's not fully unwarranted. Kev, what do you think?
Yes. Yeah. First off, I saw the Williams video. I'm sure you and I we kind of back and forth in the comments. So
Hmm.
actually, interesting player. Could be something that somebody takes a late round swing at. So just to kind of stay on topic though, Joe Willie I think has been drinking. Again, I think Joe Willie's hit the sauce one too many times, and hopefully he doesn't try to kiss anybody. But listen, there are two things I kind of want to address with regards to Mac Jones, and the reality is that Mac Jones is a capable young signal caller, and I believe that maybe Mac Jones is probably one of the most pro ready coming out. What I don't agree with is the talent level, and I don't necessarily agree with the fact that um, his talent level justifies him being drafted as high as what everybody seems to think that he should. Especially not here. I'm gonna keep it real. The New York Jets, we're transitioning right now. What it is that we need is something or someone a little more dynamic that's going to be able to make some of these new offensive plays, and it's going to be able to maybe take some lumps. And Mac Jones isn't mobile enough to be able to do that. We are still talking about the New York Jets here, and at this point in time, if I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, our offensive line still hasn't been improved enough for anybody to say that they can just stand back there and be a statue in the pocket and expect that that's going to be acceptable. So
I agree.
um, we what it is that we're looking at here, and just another couple of things because obviously I respect Jim's opinion quite a bit when we discuss these things, but I'm not sure if I agree with him on the Justin Fields or Trey Lance, um, you know, uh, positions that he holds, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But Matt Jones is not the guy for us here. I don't know, I get Joe Willie having the bias and all of that, and there are some people in the sphere out there that will say that Mac Jones is one of the better quarterbacks in this bunch, and I agree. But I'll be honest, I do think Kellen Mond is probably a better prospect than Mac Jones is at this point.